You cling to a wet leaf in the black rainforest air, small as a thumbnail. Below you, the ground breathes with legs and stingers, and every creature here holds a way to kill. Level 1. Bullet Ant. The rainforest floor belongs to you now, and your body is built around one weapon the whole jungle has learned to fear. The rainforest floor at night belongs to hunters, and you are one of them. You march in a foraging line, gathering nectar and small prey to carry home. You move over the leaf litter on 6 legs, mandibles open, antennae reading the air. At the tip of your abdomen waits a stinger the forest measures its pain against. Sting pain. Over 4.0 Schmidt index. Your sting sits at the very top of the pain scale for insects. A researcher who logged every sting he could find placed nothing above you. A lizard darts toward you across the bark. You lift your abdomen and drive your sting into its lip, and it recoils, mouth spasming, and flees empty. A frog lunges for you across the moss. You drive your sting home, and ponerotoxin floods the wound, locking its nerves open until its legs no longer answer. Waves of pain. 24 hours. For anything that survives you, the agony does not fade quickly. The burning comes in waves for most of a full day, long after you have walked away. A hungry bird eyes your line from a branch, then thinks better of it. It has struck your kind once and remembers the fire, so it hunts elsewhere tonight. You climb a buttress route with hundreds of your sisters, a living colony moving as one. Alone you are pain, together you are a wall nothing crosses. Your colony, up to 1,000 workers. You are never truly alone. Your nest holds up to 1,000 sisters, and any threat to the colony is met by a swarm of stings no animal wants to face. People who survive your sting describe it as being shot, a searing wave that climbs the limb in pulses. That is how you earned the name, the bullet ant. What looks like an ordinary ant is really living fire. To a passing eye, you are just another ant on a branch, but the jungle knows the truth, and even monkeys flinch from the leaf you sit on. Yet for all your fury, your venom rarely takes a human life. You are the floor of this ranking, the first rung on a ladder that climbs towards something far worse. Level 2. Asian Giant Hornet. You lift off from a rotted stump, longer than a human thumb, wings beating a low warning that empties the air of smaller things. You are the largest hornet on Earth, and your stinger is long enough to punch through most protective clothing. Nothing your size flies faster or hits harder. You cut through the forest at highway speed, hunting. Your jaws can shear a caterpillar in half, but your sting carries a venom that dissolves flesh. Your body is banded orange and black, a warning stitched into your skin. Animals that have felt your sting recognize the pattern and clear the air as you approach. You clamp your huge jaws around a praying mantis and lift it clean off the leaf. Few insects can match your bite, and fewer still your armored size. On the wing, 40 kilometers per hour. You can cruise at highway speed and travel miles from home in a single day of hunting. Little that flies can outrun you once you lock onto its trail. You find a honeybee hive and mark it with a drop of scent. Soon your sisters arrive, and together you begin a slaughter the bees cannot stop. A few hours' work. 30,000 bees. A raiding party of 30 of you can wipe out a colony of 30,000 bees in only a few hours, beheading them one by one. The bees try to fight back the only way they can, piling onto a single hornet and cooking it alive with their body heat. But too few of you die to matter. Your venom holds a chemical that breaks down tissue and calls more hornets to attack. To a person, a single sting feels like a hot nail driven into the skin. Human toll. 30 to 50 deaths a year. Enough of your stings at once can shut down a human body. In Japan, you kill dozens of people each year, more than any other wild animal there. You tear a captured bee apart with your jaws, keeping only the muscle to feed your young. The battlefield behind you is littered with the bodies of a broken hive. You return to your nest heavy with prey, feeding the larvae that will become next season's raiders. But your venom, for all its horror, is not the deadliest here. Level 3. DEATHSTALKER Scorpion. The desert night is cold and silent, and you wait beneath a stone with your tail arched over your back, one drop of venom ready at its tip. You are pale yellow, almost translucent, small enough to hide in a footprint. A cricket wanders close, and your claws seize it before it understands you are there. You glow an eerie blue-green under ultraviolet light, a secret the desert hides by day. At night, you rely on touch and tremor, feeling prey through the sand. Venom strength, 0.25 milligrams per kilogram. Drop for drop, your venom is among the most powerful of any scorpion. A cocktail of toxins that scramble the signals running through a victim's nerves. You strike the cricket again and again, pumping venom until it stops twitching. Then you begin to feed, your tail still raised toward the empty dark. A larger scorpion challenges you for the burrow. You lash your tail forward and land the first sting, and it staggers back before the fight even begins. What looks like a small pale scorpion is really a drop of fire. You look almost delicate under the moon, the color of dry straw. But your name is earned, and across the desert you are counted among the animals most likely to kill a child. Your venom brings pain, then a racing heart and fluid in the lungs. A healthy adult may survive, but the small and the sick can slip away before help arrives. You can slow your body almost to a stop, living for months on a single meal. In the harsh desert, patience keeps you alive as surely as your venom does. Of all the scorpions people fear, yours is the name that comes first. In dry lands from Africa to the Middle East, you cause more serious stings than any rival. A jerboa hops past your hiding place and you freeze, tail twitching. It is too large to risk, so you let it pass and wait for something you can safely subdue. The world's costliest liquid, $39 million per gallon. Your venom is so prized by scientists studying pain and cancer that, drop by drop, it is worth more than almost any liquid on the planet. You retreat back beneath your stone before dawn, glowing faintly under moonlight only a hunter's lamp would reveal. Above you on the ladder waits a hunter with fangs. Level 4. Brazilian wandering spider. You do not spin a web or wait in a burrow. You walk the forest floor at night on legs that span a dinner plate, hunting whatever moves. Leg span, up to 18 centimeters. Stretched out, you are wider than a grown man's open hand. You raise your front legs high when threatened, showing the red fangs beneath in open warning. You freeze on a banana leaf, legs lifted, body low. This warning pose has a purpose, giving anything large enough one last chance to back away. You are covered in fine hairs that sense the faintest movement in the air. A moth flying past, a beetle's footstep, all of it reaches you in the total dark. A mouse crosses your path and you drop onto it, fangs sinking deep. Your venom floods its body, freezing its muscles until even its lungs forget how to move. Among all the world's spiders, few carry venom as dangerous to people as yours. A record book once named your kind the most venomous spider alive. You chase down a cockroach across the ground rather than trapping it, running it into a corner. Then your fangs drop and the venom does the rest in seconds. You are constantly on the move, which is where your name comes from. No two nights find you in the same place, and that restlessness brings you close to human homes. A tiny dose, 0.006 milligrams, kills a mouse. It takes only the smallest trace of your venom to kill a mouse, and you carry far more than that in a single bite, ready for anything that threatens you. You often hide by day in dark, cool places, sometimes inside crates of fruit shipped across the world. A hand reaching in blind is how most people meet you. When your fangs strike a person, the pain is immediate and the venom can steal breath and slow the heart. Children are in the greatest danger from your bite, bites that turn deadly. Under 1% of bites are fatal. Your bite is agony, and in the worst cases, it can kill. Yet an anti-venom now exists, and with treatment, almost everyone you strike survives the night. You slip back into the leaf litter as the sky pales, deadly but rarely fatal to the large. The animals ahead of you break skin far less gently. Level 5. Stonefish. You lie on the reef flat, perfectly still, crusted with algae and looking exactly like the rock beside you. Down your back stand 13 spines loaded with venom. What looks like a lump of coral rock is really the deadliest fish alive. Nothing about you looks like a fish. You are a stone with a mouth, and that disguise is exactly why swimmers step on you without ever seeing you. You have sat unmoving on this reef for hours, letting silt and algae settle over your skin. Patience is your first weapon, long before the venom ever fires. A small fish drifts over your mouth, and you strike upward in a fraction of a second, swallowing it whole before it can flinch. Then you settle and vanish again. Your venom is not for hunting. It is defense, held in glands at the base of each spine, ready to fire the moment a heavy weight presses down on you. Your spines. 13 dorsal spines. 13 sharp spines line your back, and behind each one sit twin sacs of venom. Press down on any of them, and the pressure squeezes the poison straight into the wound. A careless foot comes down on your back. The spines drive up through skin, and your venom surges into the wound, unleashing pain few victims can even describe. The pain of your sting is said to be among the worst a person can feel, spiking within minutes and spreading through the whole limb in relentless waves. Hours out of water, 24 hours. Even beached by the tide, you remain a threat, staying alive out of water for a full day. A hand or foot that finds you then is bitten just the same. A reef shark noses along the bottom, hunting, and passes right over you without a glance. To almost every predator here, you are simply another lump of dead coral. You live across the shallow reefs and river mouths of the tropics, exactly where people wade. Most who step on you never saw a thing on the bottom below them. Without treatment, your venom can kill through shock and heart failure within hours. The pain alone has driven grown adults to beg for the wounded limb to be cut away. You sink back into stillness among the coral, invisible once more. You are the deadliest fish in the sea, but the next hunter kills with a single quiet bite. Level 6. Inland Taipan. You move across the cracked clay of the Australian outback, slender and dark, the most venomous snake ever measured gliding through the midday heat. You slide into a crack in the earth where rats shelter from the sun. In the dark, you find one and strike again and again, faster than the eye can follow. Your scales shift color with the seasons, darkening in winter to soak up the sun and paling in summer heat. You read the desert better than anything that lives here. One bite, 100 human adults. A single bite from you delivers enough venom to kill around 100 grown adults, or 250,000 mice in a single strike of your fangs. You do not waste venom. Where other snakes strike once and wait, you bite a rat several times in a blur, then hold it as your toxins do their work. Venom potency, 0.025 milligrams per kilogram. Measured drop for drop, no other land snake comes close. Your venom is many times stronger than a cobra's, built to drop warm-blooded prey in seconds. Your venom carries toxins that attack blood, muscle, and nerves all at once. In an untreated human, it can bring death in under an hour, sometimes far less. Venom yield, up to 110 milligrams per bite. In one bite, you can release over 100 milligrams of venom, far more than is needed to end a life. Little of that power is ever wasted on prey. The outback around you is empty and vast, and you keep to burrows and cracks by day. Few people ever share your ground, which is your victim's good fortune. What looks like a shy, gentle snake is really the deadliest venom on land. For all that power, you are shy and rarely seen, living far from towns. You would rather flee than fight, which is the only reason you kill so few. When cornered, you raise your forebody in a low S and hiss, giving fair warning. Only if that fails do you strike, and then your venom leaves nothing to chance. You swallow the rat whole, your jaw stretching wide around it, then coil in the warm sand to rest. Nothing in this desert dares to test you. You are the most venomous snake alive, and still an anti-venom can undo your work if it comes in time. The killers ahead of you offer no such mercy. Level 7. Cone snail. You drift across the reef in a shell so beautiful people reach out to hold you. Hidden inside is a harpoon, tipped with a venom that has no cure. What looks like a pretty seashell is really a loaded harpoon. Your shell is a collector's prize, patterned like fine cloth. That beauty is a trap because the soft animal inside can fire a venomous dart faster than you can pull your hand back. You are one of the largest cone snails, your shell as long as a human hand. Beneath that patterned armor hides a hunter that eats fish whole, one by one. A fish hovers above the sand, and you extend a long, fleshy tube toward it, slow and patient, tasting the water for the exact moment to fire. You move so slowly across the sand that you seem harmless, barely creeping forward. Speed is not your weapon, and you never need to chase what you can spear. Your harpoon shoots out, a hollow tooth loaded with venom, and spears the fish. In an instant, its body goes rigid, and you reel it slowly into your mouth. Toxins in one sting. Up to 200 different toxins. Your venom is not one poison, but a blend of up to 200 different toxins, some of which shut down a victim's ability to feel the strike at all. Some of your toxins mimic insulin, crashing a fish's blood sugar so it cannot swim away. Others silence pain, so prey never knows the harpoon has struck. Recorded deaths. About 36 people. Only a few dozen human deaths have ever been tied to your kind, but with no cure, every sting is a coin toss between recovery and slow suffocation. Some of your kind engulf sleeping fish inside a wide mouth like a net, flooding them with venom before firing the harpoon. Few prey ever wake from that trap. You draw the speared fish inside and swallow it whole, larger than your own shell mouth. Then you settle back into the sand to wait for the next to wander close. Anti-venom. None exists. If your harpoon finds a human, there is no anti-venom in the world to reverse it. Doctors can only keep the body breathing and hope the venom fades in time. They call the deadliest of your kind the cigarette snail, for the grim joke that a stung swimmer has only one smoke left to live. Yet you are not the last. Level 8. Blue-ringed octopus. You are smaller than a golf ball, tucked into a shell on the seafloor, drab and easy to miss until the moment you decide to shine. A shadow passes over you, and your whole body erupts in glowing blue rings, pulsing like warning lights. It is the last thing many attackers ever see. What looks like a tiny, timid octopus is really enough venom for 26 people. You could sit in the palm of a child's hand. Yet the venom in your small body is enough to stop the hearts of more than 24 grown adults. You can squeeze your soft body through a gap the size of a coin, folding into cracks in the coral. There you wait, unseen, for a crab or shrimp to pass. You creep up on a crab and wrap it in your arms, then bite down. Your saliva carries a toxin that paralyzes it in moments, and it stops struggling. Compared to cyanide, 1,000 times more toxic. The poison in your bite is tetrodotoxin, the same molecule that makes pufferfish deadly. Gram for gram, it is hundreds of times more toxic than cyanide. Your bite is so small and painless that a person may not even feel it. The first sign is often a numb tongue, then a creeping weakness spreading limb by limb. Your size, 12 to 20 centimeters across. Arms and all, you span barely the width of a hand. Nothing about you warns of danger until those rings ignite, and by then, a curious grip is already too close. You spend your short life hidden in shells, cracks, and tide pools, only a few years long. You are not aggressive, and you flash your rings only when handled or trapped. Your rings are not paint but living color, flashing in under a second when you feel threatened. It is the clearest warning in the ocean, and it means, do not touch. Anti-venom. None exists. There is no antidote for your venom. It slowly freezes every muscle, and the only hope is a machine or rescuer breathing for the victim until their body recovers. The cruelty is that the mind stays awake. A stung swimmer may be fully aware, unable to move or call out, while others fail to notice anything is wrong. You fade back to dull brown and slip into the reef, your rings gone dark. For all your quiet power, one drifting giant still ranks above you. Level 9. Box jellyfish. You drift into the warm shallows, almost invisible, a pale bell trailing threads through the water. You are the most venomous animal in the sea. From your box-shaped bell trail, as many as 60 tentacles, each stretching up to 3 meters. Along them wait millions of tiny stinging cells, each a loaded spring. A small fish brushes one of your trailing threads. Thousands of microscopic harpoons fire into it at once, and it is dead before it drifts into your bell. Your sting is not a slow poison, but an instant assault, so overwhelming that even large prey cannot thrash free and shred your fragile, drifting body. What looks like a drifting bag of water is really the ocean's deadliest sting. You have no brain, no bones, no face, almost nothing but water and nerve. And still you carry a sting that outkills every shark and every snake in the sea. Unlike most jellyfish, you do not merely drift. You have simple eyes around your bell and can swim with purpose, steering through the shallows where swimmers wade. A wading leg touches your tentacles and they cling and fire all along the skin. The venom races straight for the heart, and the pain arrives like a burning whip. Time to death: 2 to 5 minutes. In the worst cases, your venom can stop a human heart in just a few minutes, faster than any swimmer could reach the shore. This is why you sit at the top. In the tropical summer, you gather in the shallows in numbers, and warning signs go up on the beaches. Where you drift, the water itself becomes a threat. Ranked by how fast and how surely they kill, these are the deadliest animals alive. You, the box jellyfish, all but transparent, stand above every one. You pulse on through the shallows, silent and unseeing, carrying no hatred and no hunger for us. You simply drift where the current takes you, deadly by accident. None of these animals hunt people. Their venom was built to feed them or defend them, and we are only unlucky when we cross the narrow water they live in. From a sting that barely registers to a heart stopped in minutes, you have climbed the whole ladder. The smallest creatures, it turns out, carry the loudest warnings.